All right, guys. So something like this has never happened to me before. I actually got a call, or rather a text, from a oh, not a garage sale, like an estate sale company. There was apparently an estate sale going on, like right next, like in my neighborhood, and I got a text from them, and they said, "Hey, we have some comics. We have a whole bunch of them left. We wanted to know if you'd be interested. We're having a sale." So I immediately hopped in the car and went down to see what they got. I'm usually not expecting to see much from like garage sales and estate sales, but I mean, what I was able to get um, actually kind of surprised me. Some of the things that were there, there was actually some good stuff in there. So let's uh, let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll see what I got. All right, guys. So an estate sale company literally just texted me here in my local town and said, "We got a collection. We want you to come look at it and see what you think if you want it." I've literally never had anything like this happen before, so I'm driving to the estate sale now, and we're gonna check it out. Well, I'm just leaving the estate sale. Not. We'll go ahead and go through the boxes when I get home and kind of see what I picked up. All right, so here's the stuff I got from the estate sale. I've already started to separate it out a little bit, but I was just gonna kind of go through and show you guys what I got. So there was a lot of stuff that I don't really know what to do with. Like just little books. There was a lot of little video game books and stuff. I'm not really sure. Those might be for the eBay store or something. Here, let me move that. And I kind of separated them out. There was a kind of a big stack of like trades and books. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take these up to the toy store or try to sell them on eBay. Or I've got a convention coming up here in a couple of weeks. This kind of stuff hasn't historically done very well for me at cons, but I may pick out some of the better ones and take them with me. So I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this kind of stuff yet. I mean, this one's pretty cool. I always like the Dark Knight Returns stuff is always somewhat in demand, and so is this one. So those I might take to the con with me. I don't know. We'll see. There was also, let me see. Yeah. So also, just FYI, the seller had everything in these little bags. So if you were trying to sell or store comic books, please, this is not the way to do it, okay? Bags and boards only is the way to go, which I understand it was an estate sale. She was telling me that it was all her brother's stuff who had passed away. So I get it that she wasn't a collector, but just any of you watching that don't know, this is not how to store comic books, which these are still more like trade paperbacks and graphic novels and stuff. So yeah, this is more stuff that I'm not 100% sure I know what I'm gonna do with. But oh yeah, and there was these, I know almost nothing about these Mad magazines. I know that some of them are desirable. I have no idea if these are. These don't look very old, so I don't think that these are. But I'm gonna have to do some research on those. Yeah, so there's that box. Let me see. There was also like these big there were some, these apparently have some desirability. These, I looked on eBay and some of these Tomb Raider books were selling for 20, 30 bucks. So I don't know, those might go to the eBay store. We've got some vintage games up at the toy store, so I might bring those up there. Let me see. Here's the next box. Try to get that. Trying to make it there we go. Is that good? Yeah, kind of as authentic for y'all as possible. I don't know. I know that this is not the best way to look at comics, but whoops. But I wanted to show them to y'all before I really did anything with them. Some more Tomb Raider stuff. Just a lot of, there's a lot of the Batman, or I'm sorry, Batman, the like Death of Superman stuff in here. Bunch of stuff like that that you kind of expect to see in almost every collection. But yeah, this is going to be kind of a pain in the neck. Obviously, I'm going to have to rebag and board all of this stuff. And I'm having a hard time even flipping through this stuff. But yeah, so let me put that stuff aside. And so in here, it's kind of just more of the same. I'll go through that stuff, and I think I'll kind of go through the end of the video and kind of show off some of the stuff that's worth mentioning. But it's just a lot of stuff like this. Yeah. So here's some of the things I picked out that I thought were a little bit better. There were a couple of books in here that I'd never seen, and some that really surprised me. But these were some of the ones that I've already picked out. I still need to go through the whole thing. I haven't looked through all of it completely yet. So once I kind of process everything, I'll kind of show you guys what all is in there that's worth looking at. So let's kind of go through this stack. Some of the Mark Spector Moon Knight, that's a good run. This book I have never seen before. I didn't know that a Punisher meets Archie existed. I have no idea if that has any value or not. See, this is why you don't store comics in a plastic bag, because that is all bent now. I know some of the RoboCop books can have some value. I have no idea if that one does or not. I really like this one just because it's the kind of the animated series art style. I actually don't really know anything about that book. And these mask books are always pretty cool. I like these. I might keep those, honestly. But let's see. I don't know anything about these Turok books either. I'm sure there's not a lot of crazy value there. I know some of these Gru books have just a tiny bit of value. Again, I don't know if that one does. But that's kind of the stuff before I, just in a nutshell, kind of before I go through and rebag and board everything, I'll kind of pick out the highlights and kind of talk about them and show you guys. Okay, so there was a pretty good mix of stuff. I'll go ahead and just say right off the bat, I paid $150 for everything that you're about to see. You guys kind of saw how it came all in those plastic bags and those Ziploc bags. So I kind of sorted through stuff, and I'll kind of show you some of the better stuff. So there was a lot of, this kind of stuff. There were some Mad magazines. A lot of, pretty much everything in this box is gonna probably just go up on my eBay store. I'm probably gonna sell these like in lots. There were a lot of like things like this, like graphic novels, trade paperbacks. I know there might be one or two in here that's worth a little bit of money. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to go and research. If you guys see one that you know is rare or cool or worth some money, I mean, feel free to put it in the comments. But a lot of this stuff, I may take a couple of these up to the toy store, but most of these are gonna be for sale on my eBay store. I don't know. I've brought trade paperbacks and stuff to cons before and see, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. And they've just never done very well. So I've decided I don't really wanna take up booth space with trade paperbacks anymore. I'd rather put something else. So these will likely all go on my eBay store, and I'll just wait for somebody to buy them on eBay. There's a good one. I mean, The Dark Knight Returns, that's always good. Well, so I already checked on eBay. There's like 20 or 30 listings of this already up on eBay, so I don't know. They had these ones at the estate sale priced at like $30, $40 a piece. I doubt that's realistic. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm just gonna have to check and see what values of some of these are, but I'm just gonna try to kind of sell these off on my eBay store. So there's all the trade paperbacks there and graphic novels. So there was also a bunch of these little mini books. Like I said, I don't know. I might try to lot some of these together and sell them. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with those, honestly. There were also these, which were pretty cool. Like there's these video game books, or this is like the superhero movie collection, but there are these. So there's these Tomb Raider, like video game magazine things. So I'm probably gonna lot these up and sell them on eBay as well. I mean, you can see they had them priced at like 15, and I think one of these was like 25. I think that's a little high. I'm gonna have to research, but I'm just gonna probably lot these up and sell them on my eBay store. So that's pretty cool. All right, so here are all the comics that I've deemed worthy to put in a Mylar and take to the convention with me, which I've got a convention coming up in just a couple weeks. There was about 200 more books rather than these that I need to rebag and board. Those are all like $1 to $3 or $4 books that I'm just gonna rebag and board and take up to the store. So it was these plus about 200 more. So there's 250 comics plus all those magazines and trade paperbacks that I got for 150 bucks. So I think that by itself is pretty good. But some of these in here, so we've got this Avengers book. I'm pretty sure this is the first time that we see this red suit here. I could be wrong about that, but that's a nice little Avengers book there. There was this cool, like, The Weird World of J. Evil, Mr. and Mrs. J. Evil Scientist. I don't really know much about this. It's just a cool 12-cent, like, Golden Age or the old Gold Key books, so that's cool. I mean, there was a Secret Six book in there, which these books are awesome, and it's not hard to sell Harley Quinn stuff, so that was a good find in there. There were some of these cool, like, Mark Spector Moon Knight books. One of these, okay, I think this one is a key. I think we see, oh, I forget his name. It's like Moon Knight's brother. I think it might be this guy right here, actually, but this is like a minor key here. There's this just awesome Swamp Thing book. I seem to be finding a lot of these in collections, but these Tomb Raider comics, I don't know if any of them are keys or not. I don't really know much about them, but there are a couple of those in there. Now this is the first time we see Echo on the cover. This would actually be priced a lot higher, but I don't know if you can see that, but there's a pretty big, like, little corner crunch right here. But that's a nice book to find. This, I don't really know what this is, but it appeared to be going for somewhere between 10 to 20 bucks on eBay. Nice Batman book there. So this is the first time Punisher and Moon Knight fight each other. I don't know much about that book. Just some cool covers there. Age of Conan. This is just kind of a cool, like, Target exclusive, like, reading book. I think they made like 4 or 5 of these, but that's different. Morbius, Spider-Man. So this, there were 2 of these in there. This actually has lots of first appearances in it. I don't think people know, but there's like the first Superboy, the first Steel. So this is actually a pretty big key, but I mean, it's 90s Superman, so it was overprinted a lot. So it doesn't command a very high price, but I've never seen this book before. Apparently Punisher meets Archie. So I thought that was kind of cool. Another Punisher book. I always like these books with like the animated series from Batman. So that's a nice book there. And then these Mask books. Unfortunately, the whole run isn't in there. There's just 2. Actually, there's just 2 of them. Indiana Jones, Power Man, awesome Two-Face cover there, and another Mark Spector Moon Knight. Okay, so here we get into the better. Here, I'm just going to take these out. Here we get into the better books of the batch. So this is apparently an Acclaim. So this is like a variant cover for this Turok Evolution book. And again, I didn't really know anything about this book, but apparently it's somewhat rare and kind of sought after. So that was a nice find there. There's this Hulk 345 that was in there. So this, I mean, and it's a newsstand. It's not in horrible shape, but it's not in just immaculate shape either, but just awesome Todd McFarlane Hulk there. Now this one, so this was one of the big surprises, okay? So this book, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Any of you guys remember that show and that game from the 90s? But this book isn't really worth much, except this one has this DC Universe logo here. So I forget what print that is, but apparently this book with that logo commands a pretty high premium, and it was going for over $100 in some cases that I saw. So that was a nice surprise in there. And then the big surprise out of the bunch was this guy. Now, again, I've never heard of or seen this book before, but this was a comic that was printed as a promotional, like an advertisement for this. So this was a PS2 game called Sly Cooper and the Thieves. I'd have to look it up, but it's some PlayStation 2 game from the 90s, and this was a promotional comic book for that game. This thing was going for anywhere from $100 to $200 on eBay, and this one is actually in pretty good shape. So I paid $150. I mean, in between these two, I could potentially double my investment just with these 2 books. So this box will definitely be going to the con with me, and I was kind of surprised with what I was able to find. All right, guys, yeah, so there you have it. So I was just, I think I was at home with my son, and I just got that text message from the estate sale company. I went by. I mean, you just never know what you're gonna find. I wasn't expecting much, but I actually found some cool stuff. I mean, between this Carmen Sandiego book, this Sly Cooper promotional book, this awesome McFarlane, the Hulk 345, and just this Turok Evolutions book. I mean, I'm at least going to be able to make my money back and multiply it just with a couple of books. Plus, I got about 200 books that I'm going to rebag and board and take up to the toy store. So that's nice. Plus, I've got, I mean, I don't know, between all those magazines and trade paperbacks, I don't know. I just kind of will figure that's just kind of icing on the cake, just kind of extra. So that, I mean, that was awesome. I was not expecting that. Nothing like that has ever happened to me. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, so like the video, subscribe, share, you know, if you guys want to see more stuff like this, you just never know where you're going to find comics. So, all right. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.